Join me, my sweet, for a bite to eat in the delicatessen of my dreams.
Tempt me, my prince, for a handmaid bliss in the land where the Russian dressing gleams, where salamis are endlessly long and lovely, and the liverwurst is bursting at the seams.
You will be mine
By the kosher sign in the delicatessen of my dreams. Lead me, my love, to that realm above, to the delicatessen of my dreams.
Help me, my mate, to a heaping plate where the celery tonic gently streams, where the herring are patiently marinading as the hot pastrami sits around and steams. We shall return for one sweetheart burn. To the delicatessen of my
כתפוח בעצי היער, כן דודי בין הבנים, בצילו חימדתי וישבתי, ופריו מתוק לחיכי. הביאני אל בית היין, ודגלו עליי אהבה. שמחוני באשישות, רפדוני בתפוחים, כי חולת אהבה As the apple tree among the trees of the wood, so is my beloved among the young men. I sit down under his shade with great delight, and his fruit is sweet to my taste. He has has taken me to his banquet hall, and the banner he raises over me is love. Feed me with raisin cakes, comfort me with apples, for I am sick with love, sick with love. וביום השבת, וביום השבת, וביום השבת, וביום השבת.
וביום השבת, וביום השבת, וביום השבת, וביום השבת.
שני כבשים בני שנה תמימים,
ושני עשרונים סולת מנחה בלולב השמן ונזכור.
שני כבשים בני שנה תמימים, ושני עשרונים סולת מנחה בלולב השמן ונזכור. וביום השבת, 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 וביום השבת. עולת שבת,
עולת שבת,
שבת ושבתות, על עולת
התמיד, על עולת התמיד ונזכר. וביום השבת, וביום השבת, וביום השבת, וביום השבת, וביום השבת, וביום השבת, וביום השבת. פסוליה זה יום מנוחה, פסוליה
שחור דייסה דלילה מרצח ביצה קשה והעיקר פסוליה זה יום מנוחה פסוליה לכל ידוע פסוליה לי ולך פסוליה הלך עוד שבוע קפה או תה אותו הצבא אותו הטעם לפעמים לבן וביום השבת פסוליה זה יום מנוחה פסוליה לכל ידוע פסוליה לי ולך פסוליה הלך עוד שבוע אורז או פירה דומים מאוד מנות קטנות חצי עגבניה ובשבתות מה יש? פסוליה זה יום מנוחה פסוליה לכל ידוע פסוליה לי ולך פסוליה הלך עוד שבוע
Geestig, maar jij zie bij zich alleen in stiek. Sinds paar in het milk in het vleesje, door een meisje woest hij jeder je tot lief. Zoek door woest het alle in zijn pitje, met Gottes lieve wees dat je varen woest. Zie zij de schmeichel met traditie, in jeden Erev Shabbos est men dus. Gefitte Fisch, gefitte Fisch, durch jeden Beitel wusste Teufel Tagen. Und sehr vorsichtig bei den Wagen. Und seht es teuer, ist es Feuer, euch wird man mit Fokus freuen. Essen dich, sie geht es sich ein Beul. Die gefitte
when I return to my Shabbos table, after I spend so much time in shul, I am so hungry that I'm not able to keep away from that dish so cruel. Every week I taste one taste. I spread it on a cracker like a fleishik paste. It tastes so good, I clean my plate. A few hours later, I don't feel so great. Cold chopped liver, you heartburn giver. I shouldn't choose it, but I can't refuse it. That cold chopped liver, it keeps me groaning. Oy vey. I don't eat taters, I skip the chicken, although each nickel is finger licking. That cold chopped liver, it just keeps me groaning. Oy vey. Some matzah meal, a little chicken fat, keep the chopped liver from falling flat. Salt and pepper, little thyme and spice. I chop in a few onions, but I pay the price. I must promise that come next Shabbos, I won't surrender to that stomach bender, that cold chopped liver that keeps me groaning.
There's a boy who works at Starbucks who is very inspirational. He is very inspirational because of many things. I come in at 8:11 and he smiles and says, "How are you?" When he smiles and says, "How are you?" I could swear my heart grows wings. So today at 8:11, I decided I should meet him. I decided I should meet him in a proper, formal way. So today at 8:11, when he smiled and said, "How are you?" I said, "Fine, and my name's Sally." And he softly answered, "Hey." And I told him, "My name's Sally, and thank you for the extra phone." And he said his name was Taylor, which provides the inspiration for this poem. Taylor, the latte boy, bring me Java, bring me joy. Oh, Taylor, the latte boy, I love him, I love him, I love him. So I'd like to get my nerve up to recite my poem musical. He would like the fact it's musical because he plays guitar. So today at 8:11, Taylor told me he was playing with a band down in the village in the basement of a bar. And he smoothly flipped the lever to prepare my double latte. But for me, he made a triple, and he didn't think I knew. But I saw him trip the lever, and for me, he made a triple. And I knew that triple latte meant that Taylor loved me too. I said, "What time are you playing? And thank you for the extra skim." He said, "Keep the 355 because this triple latte was on him." Taylor, the latte boy, bring me Java, bring me joy. Oh, oh, Taylor, the latte boy, I love him, I love him, I love him. I used to be the kind of girl who would run when a love rushed toward her. But finally a voice whispered, "Love can be yours if you step up to the counter and order." Taylor, the latte boy, bring me Java, bring me joy. Oh, Taylor, the latte boy, I love him, I love him, I love him. So many years my heart has waited. Who'd have thought that love could be so caffeinated? Taylor, the latte boy, I love him, I love him, I love him. I love him, I love him, I love him. Things have come to a pretty pass. Our romance is growing flat.
For you like this and the other, while I go for this and that.
Goodness knows what the end will be. Oh, I don't know where I'm at.
It looks as if we two will never be one.
Something must be done.
You say either, and I say either.
You say neither, and I say neither.
Either,
Either,
neither.
neither.
Let's call the whole thing off.
You like potato, and I like potato.
You like tomato, and I like tomato.
Potato,
Potato,
tomato.
tomato. Let's call the whole thing off.
But oh,
ever part, then that would break my heart.
So if I go for scallops and you go for lobster,
No more discussion, we'll both order tofu. For we know we need each other, so we better call the calling of off. Let's call the whole thing off. For we know we need each other, so we better call the calling of off. Let's call the whole thing off. Mama, yo no tengo visto. Pasará yo m'avis, rubio como la canela. Branco como ella sin rubio como la canela. Blanco como ella sin Caneces de vajarigo, canel misa lo dentro, per coraggio senido. Aliento de mi corazón, el coraggio senido. Aliento de mi corazón. Sentada en mi ventana, lavorando el bastidor, a verme come tuyeron. Mi amor se desposó, a verme come tuyeron. Mi amor se
Shalom. Whoa. 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 Thank you, Jason, for giving me Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. Welcome, everybody who's here. Join us on page 191.
השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה
We're going to learn this so everybody really sings this. You're here at a very special time, which is we're anticipating this move into the days of awe. We're in the middle of the month of Elul, this month in which we do this personal work as we find ourselves located in a world which is on fire. And we ask, how do we find the strength and the ability to look into ourselves and the world around us? This verse, which ended the book of Lamentations, of Echa, which we read on Tisha B'Av, it's kind of the roadmap. It's the signposts you have to read. It's the hint. It's the bumper sticker, whatever is the right image for you. I'm sure there's a computer word for it too, but I can't think of it. Turn us, Hashivenu, turn us, return us to you. Help us go back. Help us to become who we are. Vinashuva. Give us the strength to do this, Vinashuva, and then we will be able to travel on this path of return. Chadesh, give us new energy. We are tired. We are burdened. We are crushed. Chadesh, renew us. Give us energy of newness, a sense of excitement, of the possibility of feeling renewed. Yameinu kikedam, as we once felt in our life. Where was it that you felt a sense of renewal, or a sense of energy, or a sense of anticipatory newness? When was the last time you felt that? Who inspired that in you? Was it when you were a kid thinking about getting a piece of candy or going to school, the first day of school? Was it around being, whatever that is? Can you imagine feeling a sense of joy? Hashivenu. So you see it's on page 191. There's the Hebrew, the English transliteration. Now you have masks on, so I cannot know if you're singing or not. It's true. But let's try and put it out there in energy, okay? So that we can feel it. Hashivenu.
Hashivenu.
Oh, beautiful. Adonai Elecha.
Adonai Elecha.
Vinashuva.
Vinashuva. Vinashuva.
Oh, beautiful.
Hashivenu.
Turn us. Give us the strength to turn.
Adonai Elecha.
To you.
Vinashuva.
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 Chadesh, renew us.
Chadesh Yameinu. Yameinu kekedem. Chadesh.
You're asking for help.
Yameinu.
Give us strength. Renew us.
Yameinu kekedem. Hashivenu.
Adonai Elecha, look to you.
Adonai Elecha.
Vinashuva, and we will be able to do it. We will return.
Vinashuva. Hashivenu. Adonai Elecha.
How did that feel? Felt pretty good, huh? Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you for your patience. That was beautiful. So welcome, everybody. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. I'm thrilled to welcome a group of LGBTQ leaders from Israel who are here with us. Would you raise your hand if you're in the group from Israel? Down here, they're down here. Welcome. And I'm going to speak about them in a moment, and they're going to light our Shabbat candles. I'm so happy you're all here. Bruchim habaim lakulam. Shabbat shalom. And we're going to start because we want to invite anybody who's new to CBST to introduce yourself, or if you're here for the first time in a very long time, just let us know your name and where you're from. Shabbat shalom. So anybody here for the first time besides that group who will introduce themselves in a second? Yes, in the back. Your names? The Moon family, like up in the sky. You live in Manhattan, and do you have first names too? Jennifer. You're what? Jennifer Sterling. Jessica. Beckett. Well, we're so happy to have you here tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who else is here for the first time? Yes. Alberto and Jorge, who have come specifically from Europe for what?
We've been members since the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, members in Europe since the beginning of the pandemic, and this is their first time at CBSD. Wow. Where in Europe do you live?
We live in Cologne, Germany.
In Cologne?
But I'm originally from Italy.
I'm from Spain, but I was born in Venezuela.
Okay, Venezuela, Spain, and Italy, but you live in Cologne. That's a lot of languages right there. Well, we're thrilled to have you. Would you stand up, come over here, just so the people live stream can see you. You've got to come over here in front of the camera. Can the camera get them? Hold on. Jason, can we get stand up, you guys? Jump over the seat. Here. There you go. There you go. Yay! Wave over your head. Thank you, Jason. So you've seen this picture a lot, huh?
A lot.
Is it really weird to be in the real, yeah?
And we're friends with many members like Harold, for example.
Friends with Harold from Europe or from online? They knew you from all your great announcements, Sabrina. They knew. Wow. We are thrilled that you're here. That's so exciting. Members who joined the synagogue from Europe. So would you watch us? What time would you watch us on Friday nights? 12:30 at night. So you would watch the Shabbat services live. 1:30 in the winter, right? Because the time change. Wow, that's amazing. Well, we're so happy to have you here. Welcome. Yes, who else is new? Yes.
Hi, I'm Laura Cohen. I live in Brooklyn, and Tina is my dear friend who lives in
Oh, wonderful. Laura Cohen from Brooklyn. What neighborhood in Brooklyn? Williamsburg. We have a good Brooklyn contingent here. Thrilled to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who else is new? Yes. Ranan Karif, but you're not with the group. Uh-huh. Beautiful. Where do you live in Israel? Near Tel Aviv. What do you think? Ramat HaSharon. Of course we know Ramat HaSharon. What shul do you go to? Beautiful. Welcome. So happy to have you. Well, tonight is Israel night. We have a lot of Israelis here tonight. Fantastic. Anybody over here that I missed? Or in the balcony? Anybody else? So our group that's here from Israel, would all of you introduce yourselves with your name and what organization you're from?
Yeah, hi. So my name is
Alon Shachar, the Jerusalem Open House in Jerusalem, which CBST has been very close to for many, many years and have visited very often.
Hello, I'm Gary Ofer. I'm from the Israeli LGBT Sports Club.
There's an LGBT sports club in Israel. Wow, that's impressive. And it's not all lesbians. You're very liberal. Very liberal. That's very nice. We need to recruit you for our congregational retreat because we can't get any men on the field. That's right. Yeah. Well, wonderful. Great. So happy to have you here. Welcome. Rotem from the Israeli Trans Advocacy Group. Thrilled to have you here. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Moore. I'm from Quotient, which is the education organization of LGBTQ education.
More from Choshen, which is the LGBT organization that does education, goes into the high schools when they're allowed to and they can, military bases and things like that to do talks about LGBT. Fantastic. Shai, the chair of Chavruta, the religious LGBT organization.
Hi, I'm Yael. I'm from Otot, which is a shelter for LGBTQ youth and young.
What's your first name? Yael. Yael, from an organization that helps shelter LGBT kids.
Hi, Michal.
Michal.
From Shoval.
Shoval.
We are trying to make better environment for LGBTQ religion in the religious communities in Israel.
Making a better environment for LGBTQ in the religious environment. Fantastic.
Hi, my name is Aman.
Ron.
I'm from the Aguda, the Association
Aguda,
for Rights in Israel.
which is the oldest LGBT organization in Israel, and yep, in Tel Aviv. And CBST, you might know, was with Aguda in the very early years, in the in the 70s, in that first LGBT rights demonstration in Tel Aviv. We have pictures of CBST people there with the CBST banner, which I can't remember what year that was. Ofer?
Hello, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Ofer. I'm the CEO of IGI, the Israeli Gay Youth and Young Adults Organization. Thank you for having us.
Ofer from IGI, which is the Israeli Gay Youth Organization. Wonderful to have you here with us. Is that everybody who's here? Two more, okay? Alana from a wider bridge. Welcome. Yael from a wider bridge. Ethan, great to see you, Ethan. Haven't seen you now in a couple of years because of all the. Welcome, so happy to have you. Wonderful, welcome, so happy to have you. And with that, if we've, oh, whoa, I'm sorry, I apologize. Two more.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Sivan Kaniel. I'm from LGBT Tech. We do diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workforce.
LGBTQ tech, like
LGBT Tech.
LGBT tech. Fantastic. That's scary. Welcome. Okay. Acharon Chaviv.
My name is George. I'm from the Israeli AIDS Task Force.
George from the Israeli AIDS Task Force. Wonderful. So happy to have you here. And our members, Andy and Michael, wave. There is, what is new about them is they're sitting in that section. So I'd like to invite all of you, the Wider Bridge folks, Andy and Michael, and all the Israelis to light our Shabbat candles and to honor you. And the bracha is on page 38. We'll do the bracha. Don't worry. These non-religious Israelis look panicked. Ofer, so why don't you just do the lighting? You light first, and then we'll say.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Please stand if you're able while we sing the words of Shalom Aleichem to the angels of peace. If you're comfortable putting your arms around each other, that's lovely. If you're not, it's fine to say no.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharetz, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lochem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
As you sit down, wish Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos to everybody. Meet somebody new. On page 8 of the Shabbat program, which I hope everybody has, whoops, sorry. On page 8 of the Shabbat program is a list of all of the Israeli guests we have with us tonight and their various organizations. And they're here tonight hosted by a wider bridge. And here's a list with their websites of all the local of their organizations so you could know more about each of them and take this home with you. I also want to point out on page 3 of the program, for those who might be new, I keep doing that, Sam. Thank you very much. Thank you. Every week we print an outline of the Shabbat service with the composers who have written the settings we're choosing tonight to sing the prayers to. We want to honor the artists, the composers, the variety of sources in our tradition, both historically and as well as culturally. So you'll see their names, and you can see we have some who are from the 1800s, as well as those who are still alive, and we honor those who have written these, as well as you can get a sense of the arc of the service itself. And the page numbers refer, of course, to the Siddur from which we pray. And now we move into Kabbalat Shabbat. We recite the Psalms to express our deep appreciation and gratitude of the world in which we live and the creation of the world itself. Page 52.
Shenu nekam afanav v'todah. השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים ומלואו. ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים ומלואו. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ.
Please stand in body and spirit, page 62, for Psalm 29.
מזמור לדוד. הבו לאדוני בני אלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש. כל אדוני על המים, אל הכבוד הרים. אדוני על מים, על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון, וירקידם כמו עגל לבנון וסיליון, לבנון וסיליון, כמו בן רעים. כל אדוני חוצב לחוות אש, כל אדוני יכיל מדבר, יכיל אדוני מדבר קדש. כל אדוני יחולל עיינות, ויחשוף יערות, ובהיכלו כולו מרכבות. אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
Please be seated. The Piyut L'cha Dodi, it's central to the service in which we welcome Shabbat. It comes after the 6 Psalms of the week, but before the Psalm of Shabbat itself. And it's long. In fact, it's longer than most of the Psalms that we recite for Kabbalat Shabbat. And it has many different verses to it that I see as ladders that take us steps of a ladder. And it takes us on a journey. And it's only after we really take in going on that journey can we be ready to say the Psalm of Shabbat itself. And what's at the core of this psalm, which we humans, as imperfect as we are, need to be reminded of over and over and over again? It's a psalm written by the Jews who were in exile from Spain and Portugal, from 1492 from Spain and 1497 from Portugal. Their worlds had been completely destroyed. Jews had lived in those countries for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Jews were totally integrated into those countries in deep and profound ways, contributing to the highest levels of academia and the arts and government. And that world was gone for Jews. This piyut, this religious hymn, was written within a generation of that exile in the 1500s in Tzfat. And it talks about the exile of 1,000 years earlier when Jerusalem itself was destroyed by the Romans. And the ultimate expression of hope is this psalm, written by Jews who had seen their entire world destroyed. That destruction is not the end of the story. It's true for us in our individual lives. Terrible things can happen in our individual lives, and terrible things can happen in our communal or national lives. It's not the end of the story. It is our ability to hope, to be able to see a future that gives us the strength to lay a foundation now while we're alive, so that a future can build on our shoulders, on our foundations. Because if we give up, if there's no foundation for the future, then there is no future. This is something we need to learn over and over and over again. The psalm does it in all different kinds of ways. It tells the story of the destruction of Jerusalem, but keeps reminding us that we have to wake up, that we have to arise from the dust. Hit na'ari me'afar kumi. Get out of the dust. Don't just stay in the destruction. That's, of course, a metaphor, in case you didn't get it, right? Don't just stay in the dust, in the debris. It's easy when our lives are shattered or our world is shattered to feel like the dust is in our eyes, in our nose, in our ears, and we are crushed. The psalm says, after a few verses, it takes a while to get there, Hitna'ari, get up me'afar, from the dust. Kumi, get up, get up. Dress in your finest. Livshi bigdei tifartech ami. Look good. Realize there's a future that you have to dress up for. And then the words get repeated on the top of page 68. So we have hit na'ari, get up, and then we have hit orari, awake, awake, be alive. It's possible in the midst of destruction to feel so much despair that we feel, although we might have the blood in our body, we might feel dead. We might feel despair, crushed. Hit orari, ki va orech kumi ori. This verse is from this week's Haftarah, which I'll talk about later for the drasha. This verse, which is at the center of the 6th week of the 7 weeks of consolation that we've been talking about since Tisha B'Av, is all about this verse, which is right here in Lecha Dodi. Why is it there, quoting Isaiah? Kiva orech kumi ori. Your light, orech, your light, or is light, orech, your light, kumi ori. Your light is rising. This is an amazing sentiment, that even in the middle of destruction, even if the dust and debris is all around, your light still has the power to rise. Uri, Uri, Shir Daberi. This is, now you'll notice the Aleph and the Ayin, very classic biblical Hebrew poetry for you who have studied with me, to play with the Aleph and the Ayin on the words that are playing off each other. Kivod Adonai Elayach Nigla. Wake up, arise. So the wake up word is very connected to the light word. The word for light and the word for waking up, they echo in our ears. Be awake. Don't sleep through this life. This life is not a rehearsal for something else. Wake yourselves up. And in that act, liberation, redemption will come. Much more to say about this, but that will be for our Lecha Dodi. So please, sing this, where? From your diaphragm, okay? Don't sing it from your throat, from your, get it, your whole body has to be involved. Even if you don't feel it, try and sing with the melody or sing the words that hope is possible. Destruction is not the end, that we have the power to wake up. We have the power to be the light that the world needs. Try and see it as a journey, all these verses. Page 66. And I want to hear everybody.
מתוך קלה, איי 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 פני שבת נקבלה, והיילים שיסה שוסי, ורחקו כל מבלייך, יאסיס עלייך, אלוהייך, ספיצוס לב, באהבה, איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת קלה, איי 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 פני שבת נקבלה, ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי, על יריש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה, איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת קלה, איי 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 פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת שכינה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת קלה, איי 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 פני שבת נקבלה, איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת קלה, איי 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 פני שבת
Woo. Please be seated. Who feels a little bit better? Just a tiny little bit better. A little bit, right? Isn't it? Page 72, Psalm 92. It is essential. Tov lahodot. It is essential. Oh, sorry, hold on. I made a mistake. I want to welcome back into our community Annika Cooper, whose mother passed away this morning. And so the announcement will go out to the community on Sunday, but we want to welcome you in, Annika, and with the words on the bottom of page 71, please read with me. Annika, may God comfort you among all who mourn and bring you peace. Our deepest condolences to you, Annika. Page 72. It is essential to give thanks, to do it baboker in the morning, when the day stretches out in front of us, when the possibilities are without limit, when we're young, when we're strong, when we feel there is nothing we cannot do. It's essential at that moment in our life to give thanks. It's also essential balelot, when there's more of the day which is done than is ahead of us, when we have a lot of regrets or disappointments or pain or sense of failure. It's essential then too to give thanks. It is our spiritual requirement to find ways to focus on the blessings, which are much harder to find than on the curses, which are very visible and very loud and very dramatic. So this Psalm of Shabbat demands of us to do what God understands to be spiritual exercise, to practice expressing gratitude. The curses will be there. They take care of themselves. Blessings require work to pay attention to and to say thank you. To the universe, if you don't believe in God, but just say thank you. To notice the small things, to notice the big things, to notice the human things, to notice the inanimate things, the flowers, the clothes we might have on, the friend we might be sitting next to. We express gratitude. We don't let it go by. Only by opening our souls up to gratitude, only by exercising the muscle of gratitude, can we have a spiritually mature and full life. Tov Lahodot, it is essential to give thanks. Page 72.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. צדיק כתמר יפרח, כעז בלבנון יפרה, שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינובון בשיבה, דשנים ורעננים יהיו. להגיד כי ישר אדוני, צורים ולא עוולתה בו.
Please rise in body and spirit, page 78.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. Page 80 to 81, individually to the asterisk.
מעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני,
וברוך שמו.
מעריב ערבים.
Page 86.
אהבת עולם בית תורתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue individually with the last two paragraphs of the Shema, ending on page 92 or 93.
Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Page 94.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim, Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יא לה 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 כיפת אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
I'd like to invite the Israelis to stand if you're able, and on page 100, read the Amichai poem out loud for all of us, and for those who are not Hebrew speakers, read the English below as our meditation leading into the prayer for peace. Would you all stand and read the poem on page 100?
אני החי אומר עליי שלום, אני רוצה שלום כבר עכשיו בעוד אני חי. אני לא רוצה לחכות כמו אותו החסיד הפנים היו תמיד הפנים שלי, פני אוהב או פני אויב. מלחמות בנשק ישן, מקל, אבן, גרזן פגום, מילים, סכין כהה וקורעת, אהבה ושנאה, ומלחמות בנשק חדיש, מקלע, טיל, מילים, מוקש מתפוצץ, אהבה ושנאה. אני לא רוצה לקיים את נבואת הוריי, שהחיים הם מלחמה. אני רוצה שלום בכל גופי ובכל נפשי. עליי השלום.
תודה רבה. Page 398, השכיבנו.
ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל. ועל ירושלים ועל כל עמו ועל כל העמים שלום. ועל ירושלים ועל כל עמו ועל כל העמים שלום. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל. שלום עלינו ועל כל העמים.
Page 104, page 102. Please stand if you're able. And that will immediately be followed by the Chatzi Kaddish on 104. And then we go into our Amidah, the silent standing prayer. Say the words of the Siddur or the words of your heart. This time is for you.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. איי 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 ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי ויתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר וירומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ויאמרו.
Al taster panecha. Don't hide your face from me. I'm asking for your help. Page 4 of the program from Psalm 27.
Don't hide your face from me. I'm asking for your help. I call to you, please hear my prayers, O God. If you would answer me as I have called to you, please heal me now. Don't hide your face from me. Don't hide your face from me. I'm asking for your help. I call to you, please hear my prayers, O God. If you would answer me as I have called to you, please Don't hide your face from me. Oh, say shalom bimromav. Oh, yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei
Mishaberach imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel, Bilhah, Vezilpa, Va'avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all of us too. May the Holy One bless those who are among us and are sick, those who suffer from illnesses of the body, or illnesses of the soul, or illnesses of the mind. We hold in our hearts for healing tonight Akila Ali, Nancy Alvarez, Shayna Call, Deborah Dolgen Wolf, Erica Foreman, Jerry Goldhaber, Alan Messer, Ellen Ratner, Rose Wachnan, Mordechai Ben Nachman Vebela Rivka, Rivka Shifra Bat Bela Vemendel, Yisraela Bat Leah Yosef. Please say out loud or write in the chat online any other names for whom we pray for healing tonight. May they be blessed with a full and complete healing, a healing of spirit and of body. And may those who will not be healed on earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to all those who are caring for the sick. And may God help all of us to find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. And may all who are ill be surrounded by the love of friends, loving companions, families, and community. And let us say, Amen. And the prayer for our country found on page 6. I'm delighted to invite CBST members Barbara and Cheryl to read. Barbara and Cheryl are longtime members, but they haven't been in the sanctuary in how long?
Well, 3 years.
3 years.
The reason we didn't introduce them here a month ago, we slipped in.
Great. So welcome. But they no longer live in New York. So which half are you going to be reading? Okay.
Get it a little lower. Prayer for our country, Rabbi Ayelet Cohen. Our God and God of our ancestors, bless this country and all who dwell in it. Help us to experience the blessings of our lives and circumstances. Help us to be vigilant, compassionate, and brave. Strengthen us when we are afraid. Help us to channel our anger so that it motivates us to action. Help us to feel our fear so that we do not become numb. Help us to be generous with others so that we rise each other up.
Help us to be humble in our fear, knowing that as vulnerable as we feel, there are those at greater risk, and that it is our holy work to stand with them. Help us to taste the sweetness of liberty, to not take for granted the freedoms won in generations past or in recent days. To heal and nourish our democracy, that it may be like a tree planted by the water, whose roots reach down to the stream. It need not fear drought when it comes. Its leaves are always green.
Let us say,
Amen.
so great to see you. Thank you. Wonderful. Welcome back. Thank you.
Only once.
Wonderful to see you both. And we continue on page 138.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חונו וימי וחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן תתקבל צולות הון ובוד הון דכל ישראל קודם אבוהון דיבישמעיה ואמרו אמן יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום ממרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Just Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and Shabbat Shalom to everybody on live stream at home. Hope those pajamas are comfortable. I remember what that felt like. I want to give a special shout out. We have with us tonight Liam Stack. Liam, would you just raise your hand? Liam is the religion reporter for the New York Times, and he's with us tonight. Ooh, did you hear that, Liam? And the New York Times is considering a story about CBST and other religious communities in all 5 boroughs. So Liam is here to be part of tonight's service, and we're so happy to have you as a human being, Liam. We're really happy to have you here tonight. Welcome. And again, thank you and welcome to all the Israelis who are with us. It's so moving for us to have you here and for us to feel in partnership with you to create this very broken world. And you're doing God's work there. We're trying to do God's work here. And thank you, A Wider Bridge, for connecting all of us. We're going to hear a little bit later from one of them, from the Jerusalem Open House, which CBST has been involved with since before it opened, quite literally. Who I'm not sure if anybody here was on our trip in 1996 when we went to Israel, and we met with the then founders of the Open House and the then new executive director, and that's where we started CBST's relationship. But tonight we are facing this 6th Shabbat of the 7 Shabbatot between Tisha B'Av and Rosh Hashanah. And I have been, in each of my drashot in these 7-week period, have been focusing on the haftarot of this 7-week period, because we're told these are the haftarot of consolation. And they're pretty much, people just, read through them on Shabbat morning, and they're not given a lot of attention necessarily. But this year, this is what I've been doing with my 7 weeks, and my preparation for Rosh Hashanah has been focused on studying these haftarot. And if they're there to give us comfort, after diving into the destruction and despair of Tisha B'Av, I thought to myself, wow, don't we really need that now? Doesn't it feel like we're living in Tisha B'Av in the world we're in? Let's talk about a second what's going on in Israel. Israel is facing an election on November 1st, which is about as scary as the elections we're facing here. People are running for office in Israel, and the government is so shaky in Israel, who only a few years ago would not have been considered legitimate Knesset members. Menachem Begin, who was far from a left-wing member of the Knesset, would not have allowed some of the people who are running for office. They are genuine fascists, and they are like what we have here in the United States, running for office and garnering more and more and more support. We're facing it there, we're facing it here. So it's really important that the communities in Israel and the communities here are joined together to make sure that we continue to build a society in which democracy thrives and debate is allowed and LGBT people are treated with equality and respect. That's under attack there, it's under attack here, it's under attack all over the world. So So where do we get comfort? Where do we get consolation? That's the question I've been asking every week as I address these haftarot. And we don't have so much time tonight, but I'll offer these few words. I'm going to start with this candle that's sitting next to the Shabbat candles. So first of all, what is light? What is light? Those of us who live in the modern age have a very different relationship to light than people who lived pre-electricity or live in societies in which electricity is not accessible. If you didn't have a light switch to just turn on light, imagine what your relationship would be with light, of course. Daytime and the sun would be the only source of light during the day. The only human creation that would create light, of course, was fire. Other than fire, other than a flame, until electricity existed, there was no human way of creating light. We had to be entirely dependent on the cycle of the earth, the sun, and then moon at night. So we're told, where's Saul Zalkin? He is our special Torah. He is the Torah reader of the first days of creation par excellence. What is created on the first day of creation? Vayehi, or light is created. And we're told that's day one, right? Light is created on day one. But what day is the sun created? See, I knew Saul would know this, on day 4. So we're told, and then we'll hear Saul will read this on Simchat Torah, of course, and we'll read it when we get to Bereshit, that the whole first day is about the creation of light, Vayehi Or, etc. Or is created, and then we find out it takes 4 more days until the sun and the moon and other things get created that create light. So needless to say, the rabbis, the commentaries notice this very quickly and say, if light was created on the first day, but the sun wasn't created until the 4th day, what was the light of the first day? Or the first 3 days, actually, right? There's light from before there was a sun. And so the Mefarshim, the commentators, say that the light that existed for the first 4 days was what's called a primordial light, which is actually a word in physics too, but I am really not a physicist, so I'm staying away from that. The primordial light, the light that's created before the actual sun, was light that the Midrash tells us a human being could see with this light from where they stood to around the world and back again. But when the story of Noah took place, and evil existed in the world, and there was so much violence and hatred, that God decided this light was so powerful, and people seemed to be so evil, that God was afraid that evil people would use this light as a weapon to hurt other people rather than for the good God created it. So the Midrash tells us that God gathered up this light that was created on the first day and hid that light. And it's called Or Haganuz, the hidden light, the light that is hidden away. What's this light here? So these are candles that remind us, those of us who live in a time of electricity, of the power a tiny little flame can have. If we were to turn off all the lights here, of course, we become much more aware of it. With electricity, we can be a little bit cynical or a little, so it's a little candle. But some of you were with me on a trip we took to Vienna and Budapest. And during the trip to Vienna, we went to the concentration camp, which was built to honor Hitler's birthplace right outside of Vienna. It was one of the first concentration camps that was built, called Mauthausen, right in the middle of a town. The horrors that existed in this camp there are no words for it, and now is not the time. But we had a guide who took us to Mauthausen, who was a non-Jewish Viennese person, who when she was 15 years old, she's now in her 40s, when she was 15 years old, she obviously wasn't alive during the Shoah, during the World War II, but she is a Viennese person When she was 15, she had an epiphany, which was that her future was linked to what had happened to the Jewish people in Austria, and that she needed to dedicate her life to understanding it, to studying it, to becoming an expert in it, and to be a witness. She went to college and graduate school. It became her academic study was Jewish history, Austrian Jewish history in particular. And she spent her life as a tour guide, as a guide that would take people to Mauthausen. She would spiritually prepare herself for a day every time before she took people there. And she understood our trip, and she said this to me after a couple of days, that our trip had a light about us from which she drank. And she understood that our trip, taking our group of gay Jews from New York City, and not all gay, but our synagogue group, would be a spiritually powerful experience for her, as it was every time. She took us to Mauthausen, guided us in this deep and spiritual way that a non-Jew whose family was Austrian for hundreds of years and who understood deeply what Austria did to Jews could stare unflinchingly right into the fire itself. And before we left Mauthausen, we gathered, and there are only a few of the bunks that are left where Jews and other political prisoners were kept. And we sat on the floor of this bunk just to absorb what we had seen, and it's very difficult, and to just breathe through it and to reflect. And while we were sitting there in silence, and we would say some psalms, then we sat in silence, she said, "I have a gift for your synagogue." And she is a candle maker. And she unwrapped a candle that she gave us that she was inspired to make on the trip while she had been leading us. And she gave me the candle, and we lit it. We lit this candle while we were sitting on the floor of this bunk in the middle of Mauthausen. And I had an experience of a candlelight that was different than I ever had. I understood she was passing on a piece of light to all of us. She was saying, I see this, I hear this, I witness it, I'm passing this to you. And we took the candle back to the United States, and we used it every Friday night for years, until it burned down. She's like, and then right as we were leaving Austria to go to Hungary, who here was on that trip? Who remembers that trip? We have some people who were on that trip, remember? She said to us, "Before I leave you, I have another gift for you." And she took out her harp. She turns out to be an extraordinary musician. And she said, I have no words to express for what I feel for you and for the Jewish people. And she, sitting on this lakeside spot on the border of Austria and Hungary, she took out her harp and started playing all Jewish music. It turned out she sang in a Jewish choir for 10 years. And then she played a piece she wrote for us. By the way, we then brought her here to New York, where she collaborated with Joyce and others here at CBST. We had a phenomenal concert. She played during a service, and she remains a very important part of our community living in Vienna. I'm in touch with her all the time. And this is the next candle that she has for us. And she told me just recently she's making another one. So that we look at that and remember a non-Jew who could stare right into the horror and still believe that she can pass on light to us. And we have to create light as well. So in this Haftorah, as I said when we sang Lecha Dodi, it starts with the words, Kumi Uri Kiva Orech Uchvod Hashem Alayach Zarach. Arise, shine, for your light has dawned. The presence of holiness shines on you. The next verse says, darkness will cover the earth. But you, if you want, you can be the light of holiness that will shine. And that light will walk through by your light and your shining. Raise your eyes and look up. The cry of violence will be no more. No longer shall you need the sun for light by day, nor moon at night. And the commentaries say, what is this referring to? If we don't need the light by day and the moon by night, this must be referring to the Or HaGanuz, the hidden light that we know from Bereshit was hidden. There's a wonderful midrash that says that the light itself is speaking to us, that the light itself has words to say, which is the darkness is big, the powers are powerful in their crushing of us, but this is what the light, the Or HaGanuz is saying. Or Zarua Latzadik. The light is waiting for you to be righteous. That if we act in ways that are righteous, even when the world around us looks horrible, when we understand that a small, small little flame can inspire other little flames, when we appreciate the world pre-electricity, which is you could take and protect a tiny little flame, and that little flame can help another flame, and you can walk into darkness, and if you're carrying a tiny little flame, it has a big impact. That little flame is every single one of us. We can walk in the middle of the darkness of the world in which we are currently living. And by walking as a little flame, understand that we might not be big and mighty, and we might not be a huge fire, but our little candle, our little flame, our pintle of flame inside of us can break through the darkness. And when we act in that level of righteousness to inspire other people, the light itself is saying to us, Or Zarua Latzadik, the light is waiting for us all to be righteous. So this is the Haftarah of consolation this week. Though the darkness is big, each of us can be a light that makes a difference. You can inspire my light. I can inspire yours. And every little flame together creates the great light we need in the world today. Or Zarua Latzadik, the light is waiting for us to be righteous. Shabbat Shalom. Page 140. Please rise in body and spirit. Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שברא אותנו בצלמו, ונפח בנו את נשמת חיינו, שהעמיק אותנו בלימוד תורתו, וקידשנו במצוותיה, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים. השמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We mark those we've lost and loved either in recent days or in this season in years past. And we extend our deepest condolences to CBST member Annika Cooper, whose mother just passed away today. Details about the funeral will be coming on Sunday or Monday as we know it. And Annika, we surround you with all of our love and support at this time. And we're so saddened to say that CBST member Bruce Lynn died yesterday. Bruce was just at chorus rehearsal on Wednesday night, and we're so saddened by this death. And again, we'll have more details about the funeral and arrangements on Sunday or Monday, and we will certainly get that information out as soon as we have it. We don't yet know. It's likely to be Wednesday, but we don't have confirmation on that. So we will get the details out on Sunday or Monday as soon as we have those arrangements made. And we also extend our condolences, CBST member Paul Biersuck, who died on September 10th, and CBST members Robin Baslow and Susan Smith, who's are mourning the death of Robin's mother, who died on September 10th, and we offer condolences to members Simon and Sherry on the death of Simon's aunt, Eunice Stack. We also mark tonight yahrzeits of CBST members Janet Weinberg and Edie Windsor, Stephen Greenstein, Mort Gindi, Peter Hruska, and Estelle Silverman. Family and friends Shirley Malik, Richard Altman, William Pachter, David Radvan, Noah Sherman, Paul Goldstein, Marjorie Felt, and Alfred Albin. If you are in mourning or observing a yahrzeit, or if it's your custom to stand for the mourner's Kaddish, please do so, page 150. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. B'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru
Amen.
Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach li'olam omei omaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei Dekudsha brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiram bi'alma v'yimru
Amen.
Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru
Amen.
Oseh shalom mibramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru. May the one who makes peace in the heavens bring comfort to all who mourn here on earth, and let us say amen. And now, before announcements, I'd like to invite the ED, the Executive Director of the Jerusalem Open House, Alon Shachar, to offer a few words. So happy to have you here, Alon. And you know, for those of you who remember, Mikey Goldstein, who was an intern here at CBST, was chair of the board of the Jerusalem Open House. He was chair, right? I think he was, yeah. So we'd love to hear a few words from you. Wonderful thing.
All right. So can I hold this? All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rabbi Sharon, Sam, Joyce, all Keilah Kedosha, congregation Bet Simchat Torah. We're so happy to be here tonight with you. It's a very special moment for us. I'm speaking on behalf of my friends and colleagues from the delegation with a wider bridge. We came all the way from Israel here to New York to strengthen our ties, our connections with the local Jewish LGBTQ plus American activists. And in order to strengthen these ties, I think we need moments just like these, moments where we are part of something that is bigger for us, moments where we can sit at Shabbat, at a Friday evening, Erev Shabbat, and to feel all this kedusha, basically, like the very feeling of how it feels for us to connect and to be with each other, and to see that we have here, to see that we have here friends, we have here people that even if we haven't met you before, and personally I didn't have the chance to meet you, or most of you before, I can feel, just because I'm here now with you tonight, I feel part of this family, of this extended family. This is how we sometimes feel when we meet other LGBTQ plus folks around the world, where we visit and where we engage together. And this is how we feel tonight. So I want to really, really thank you from the bottom of our hearts and souls for your hospitality, for the amazing community you create here. Even if you came here tonight for the first time, and I remember this feeling not too long ago. It is an act of bravery, and it is an act of, it takes courage. And we all know what this courage is, whether if we come out of the closet, or whether if we just need to do something that is fearful for us, or whether if we need to fight racism, chauvinism, homophobia, violence. So with these all ideas in mind, I want to thank you, and I want to welcome you to reach out to us and connect with us. We're here for this. And thank you so much, Rabbi Sharon, for your partnership and friendship and all the work you do and lead this amazing congregation. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And I just want to give the congregation a small gift from Eretz Israel. It is, let me just, yes. So it is a chamsa.
Oh, beautiful.
A beautiful chamsa that we want to leave it here for you. So each and every time you see it, you will think of us and remember us.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you. And for those who would like to speak with the delegation who's here, after services, you're welcome to stay in the sanctuary. Please stay masked. And unfortunately, we don't have food to offer. We're still not serving food, but you can schmooze. Schmoozing is good. Although in Israeli Hebrew, that's not a good word. So you could talk among yourselves. And now I'd like to invite our president, Sabrina Farber. So again, if you want to stay and talk, Andy and Michael, you'll take care of it, right? Okay, great. Thank you. Well, everybody's welcome to get to know after the service.
Always something new. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you all. And I do have to say that there are an extraordinary number of young people in the sanctuary tonight. I know you can't see them on the live stream, and I know that Jason's not pointing the camera at them, but I can only tell you that it makes me so happy to see so many people who are significantly younger than I am. So welcome, welcome, and we hope you come back. Please talk to me after the services. I'm happy to plug you in and let you know about people here who are much younger than I am, in any event. Anyway, so thank you all for joining us, whether you're here in person, whether you're here from far, far away, like Israel or Cologne, Germany, or whether you're joining us on live stream. Thank you to our Baal Tefillah cantor, Sam Rosen. Thank you to our music director, Joyce Rosenzweig. And profound and unending thanks to our Darshanit and service leader, Rabbi Sharon Kleinbaum. She is without parallel, something that I think all of us know. Your deeply moving words are especially powerful at this time of year and helps us really to get into the spirit of the high holidays. Thanks to our ushers, Lynn and Sally and Gomez, and a special shout out to our tech wizard, Jason Zivick, who is currently hiding in the balcony. Thank you, Jason. So join us tomorrow morning at 10. You can either come in person or be online for the traditional egalitarian minyan. And I hope many of you will join us later tomorrow evening for Slichot. The class starts at 9 p.m. and it's downstairs, and the service will be here in the sanctuary at 10. And for those of you who are setting your calendars ahead, Havdalah will be folded into the proceedings. One of the rabbis here tonight can tell you exactly when that's going to happen. I defer to them. At 10 o'clock, at the beginning of the service, for those of you who are Havdalah regulars. Join us online Sunday evening from 6 to 7:30 for a book launch. This is called CBST Out of the Closet and Into the Books Out of the Closet and Into the Library. CBST is proud to co-sponsor the book launch of Liberating Gender for Jews and Allies, the wisdom of, now this is a word I hadn't heard before, transkite, like Yiddishkeit, transkite. An extraordinary collection of essays by trans Jews and allies, which explores gender through lenses of tradition, art, autobiography, and solidarity. Sounds amazing. Please register online. And join us on Monday evening from 7 to 8:30 for a special program online called Introduction to Hearing Loss, Tips for Better Communication and Technology Solutions for All Ages. I'm not pointing any fingers, but I think you know who you are. It's nothing to be ashamed of, either for yourself, a loved one, a family member, or even if you just want to get some information. And it's sponsored by the CBST Aging Together team, led by CBST member Lori Hannon and some of her colleagues from the Center for Hearing and Communication. Maybe I should say it louder for anyone who didn't hear it. Anyway, Monday night, it's online. Rabbi, I'm going to make you go to this program. I can do that because I'm the president. And I promised my friend Ruth Kleinman in the office that I would do another weekly update on the High Holy Days. Let's all take a deep breath. Nice. I like this. This is good. Yeah. Registration continues. Thank you all for those of you who have completed it online. We are busily working in the office, lots and lots of heroes there, making sure everything goes smoothly. If you haven't registered and you know someone who hasn't registered, please encourage them to do so as soon as possible. As you can only imagine, some of the more compelling services are getting full. I won't say that they're full, but they're getting full, so don't delay. For those of you who have registered, you will be receiving an email this week which confirms exactly the services that you registered for and will give you much greater detail about logistics and timing and all those little details that you need to come to be prepared with. So don't quote me. I don't know exactly which day of the week it's coming, but if you have any questions, please check online first, cbst.org/HHD5783, just so we're all knowing that's the year we're going into. And I'm telling you, the website is great this year. There's a ton of information. I guarantee if you look at the website first, you won't need to pick up the phone and call Ruth, but you certainly can. You can reach her by email at membership@cbst.org. And I will end with one final note. As you know, the high holidays are a very important fundraising moment for Jewish communities around the world, and very specifically for CBST. We would love to see as many pledges and/or donations in advance of the High Holy Days. It is important that we keep this community strong and we keep our financial base strong as well, and it is on all of us, not just those with significant means, but each and every one of us. Rabbi Kleinbaum's favorite thing that she says to me as president is, Ein Kemach, Ein Torah. So basically, no money, no shul. So I'm just reminding you that we need your help and support, especially this time of year. And think about how much lighter you'll feel going into Rosh Hashanah knowing that you've just made an enormous gift to this synagogue. I can tell you it feels fantastic. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom. Lovely to see you.
Thank you so much. Tonight's live stream is sponsored by CBSC Board, Clergy, and Staff to welcome Jorge and Alberto visiting all the way from Europe, members for 2 years in the pandemic who are finally seeing our 30th Street Sanctuary in person for the first time. Yay! Come on, let's give them a round of applause. That deserves a big... CBSC Board, Clergy, and Staff to welcome our friends and a visiting group of LGBTQ Israeli leaders on their trip to New York with a wider bridge. Thank you for the sacred work you all do every day. Thank you. By Sherry Felt Dratfield and Simon Dratfield in memory of Sherry's beloved mother, Marjorie Brenner Felt, on her 12th yahrzeit. By Ora Ezrahi and Lori Siegel, celebrating Sally Kopstein on her milestone birthday. Happy birthday today. Wow. May your cheerfulness and good works continue to be an example for us all. Amen to that. Jeannie Heller in memory of my brothers Paul and Josh on their 12th and 2nd yahrzeits respectively. They both tried valiantly to overcome our extremely chaotic upbringing. By Roseanne Leipzig and Ora Chaikin in honor of and thanks to Joyce Rosenzweig and her selections of music to set our kavanah every Shabbat. By Linda Solomon and Bonnie Siegel, in honor of our upcoming 14th anniversary. We are blessed to be married in Massachusetts. May we celebrate many more years together and with CBST. Tanya Domi, in honor of my dear friend, Dr. Lori Cohen, for our decade-long friendship and our scholarly partnership, deepening my knowledge of the Holocaust and its intersection in Eastern Europe. By Allison Klein, in memory of my cousin Ramses Leonidas Trujillo, who died too young 2 weeks ago after a long illness. I will miss hearing his beautiful voice and Spanish guitar playing. May he be at rest in peace. By Sarah Kleinbaum, my sister, our mother's 3rd year she's gone. I love you, Mom. And now, Achat Sha'alti. We're doing a special Achat Sha'alti tonight to end our service, the choral version that we did in the summer of 2020, preparing for the high holidays of 2020, when we were all very separated, and we did this, and Joyce led this beautiful choral version online. gorgeous. Please stand for Kiddush and Motzi, page 156.
יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי וחברותיי, לחיים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו. בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית. כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המוציא לחם מן הארץ. אמן. שבת שלום. Shabbat shalom.